For a lot of people lately with a pandemic, racial unrest, financial difficulties, and of course, a presidential race going on. This is Lisa Berry, but several creative forces in the local area are bringing new meaning to the word or the phrase IFFY, which for them stands for Independent Film Festival Ypsilanti. First planned for April, it too was impacted by everything going on, but the show must go on, and in fact, is coming up later this month in August. So we're joined now on 89.1 WEMU and in a special Zoom video, if you want to see this conversation, by IFFY founder and co-creator Martin Thoburn, who for radio listeners is waving. Hi, Martin. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
And festival curator Hafsah Mijanyawa. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Hey, everybody.
So Martin, take us back. How did this all begin?
So it started pretty much actually with the name IFFY. Donald Harrison is a good buddy of mine, and we talked about, hey, how can we bring more film arts and culture to Ypsilanti and Southeastern Michigan in general? We're both filmmakers ourselves. And the term, Independent Film Festival, IFFY, just sort of popped into our head, and it was so good, we had to do it. Last year, we kind of tested the waters by bringing the Ottawa Animation Film Festival to the Riverside Arts Center, and we had a sold-out show, so we realized there's an appetite in the community for animation and film arts and culture, and so we decided to go forward. And just like everything else that happened in the spring, we got derailed with COVID. We decided to wait out how things were going to play out, and now we're deciding to bring this great content to you in two forms. We got a drive-in movie happening on August 20th on Thursday. It's a free event right by the IFFY Water Tower. There's a little drive-in parking lot there. You can go and watch movies, and then we've got 2 virtual screenings on Friday and then 2 more virtual screenings on Saturday. So both in person and virtual this year.
We'll get back to some of that in just a minute. I want to check in with Hafsah next. You're the curator. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what does it mean to be a curator of a independent film festival?
Yeah, for sure. I've been active in the Ann Arbor IPSI area as a visual and motion designer for almost 10 years now. And I'm also a filmmaker and film enthusiast. And recently I had the pleasure of being a first-time programmer for IFFY. And it was definitely a little bit of a learning curve for me. I kind of had to figure out what being a programmer was as I did it. And essentially it's the process of almost creating a playlist, of excellent film, movies that have a bit of a theme and that potentially resonate with a certain niche or a certain audience. You have to do a bit of research. You go out, you look for movies, you investigate what the good stuff is, and you choose what works best for the kind of program that you're intending to build. So it was really an excellent opportunity for me. I've been a huge fan of art house movie theaters locally in the Ann Arbor and Detroit area. I'm a big moviegoer, so it was a huge pleasure to be able to do this for the first time.
When organizing this and putting this together, Martin, with Donald Harrison, who you mentioned, who do you envision attending or visiting or online now or going to the drive-in part? Who's your audience, I guess?
So when we initially conceived of IFFY, we really wanted to sort of target Southeastern Michigan, like a very regional focus. So we do have a regional program and a real emphasis on local work, but we also are showing lots of international work. And now that we're online, those boundaries don't really matter. You don't have to come to IFFY anymore, except for the drive-in, obviously, to experience it. So anybody can attend. It's pay what you can, donation-based to various local charities and nonprofits. So it's totally open accessible, and our audience ranges from creatives and artists to just film enthusiasts or people who are curious and want to see something new. Everything we show are short films. We don't have any features in our program, so it's going to be a variety pack of a lot of different content. If you don't like something, the next thing might float your boat and experience a lot of new and interesting work.
What does that Tell us what that's going to look like. We're in a pandemic. You're watching a film festival online. Do you expect people to be gathered around their computers, or can they transfer it to their TV, or what's that going to look like?
They absolutely can transfer it to their TV. So it is a live stream. We don't have the rights to do on demand for this film work. So it's a one and done. It's very similar to sitting down in a theater and the show starts at 7:00. If you're not in your seat, you're going to miss it. And once the stream is done, it's done. And that's just because of a logistical and a rights issue that we can't have it be on demand. However, Yes, you can totally watch it. There's streams. If you have a Roku or an Apple TV, you can pick up those streams on those devices and watch it on the big screen with a nice sound system if you have one, or you can be hunkered on your iPhone in a closet if you want. You can be anywhere you can get an internet connection and a phone that connect to a live stream, you can watch it.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a movie buff or a film buff, but I do miss the movies. So I think there's that aspect. And I'm excited about the drive-in event. Tell us a little bit more about that.
That's right. So that's a partnership with the IFFY DDA. They this is their second drive-in they're hosting, and we're partnering with them to bring our Midwest product showcase. So that is all of our regional work. So we've got dozens of short films playing at the water tower. They're going to, I think, set up a large screen there, and you will tune in with your radio like old time. I mean, younger generations may not remember this, but this was actually an American classic tradition, the drive-in movie. If you could enjoy from the comfort of your car, and it's kind of perfect as a pandemic revival.
Right. It's socially distanced. Everyone stays healthy, right?
You're in your own private airspace. And you know what? It's first come, first serve, limited parking, but there's no reason why you can't just show up on the lawn with the boom box and watch from the lawn. And assuming you're also practicing social distancing, anyone with the radio can tune in. I know those are kind of rare, the old analog radios, but everyone's got one in their car.
And Hafsah said, wear your mask, right?
That's right. If you're getting close. Yep.
What part of IFFY are you most excited about, Hafsah?
Oh, really all of it. I'm really pumped for the drive-in. I'm excited to see, the Midwest program of shorts. There's so many little pieces to it that I think really complement each other as an entire program. So I'm just excited to see, kind of the reception to it, and, hopefully the way that people can have a little bit of escapism during these confusing times.
And it's overall a 3-day event, August 20th through the 22nd?
That's correct. That's correct. I was going to say, Hafsah, it'd be great if you could tell a little bit about the program that you're curated and what your sort of intentions behind that was, because I think that's a really interesting program.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So my program is called Skin Sound Synth, and it is a showcase of 9 short films that explore culture and identity from the perspective of experimental narrative, futurism, and science fiction. And the program evolved somewhat during the course of curating it. Originally, I set out somewhat ambitiously to have a program of entirely genre pieces produced by women, because I'm very passionate about the representation of women creators in the genre fiction realm. And as I went down, kind of a rabbit hole of discovering so many different creators who are not just women of color, but also people of color, indigenous storytellers, I decided to make the program more celebratory and really showcase the unique vision of filmmakers who don't necessarily show up in the mainstream as much as they should.
And you'll have 7 different films as part of that, did you say?
That's 9 short films.
9 short films.
Correct.
How do you even go about finding those? Is there a lot of research involved?
A lot of research is involved, looking at, trying to figure out what kind of film that I'm trying to show, and looking for films from other film festivals and independent filmmakers that kind of fit into those particular themes that I was looking at. Just really going down a rabbit hole. Once you find one interesting filmmaker who has, made something kind of similar to the vibe that you're trying to showcase, others kind of pop up. So it really is it's just a lot of research, a lot of Googling, a lot of watching movies, which is excellent.
Will it make us laugh or cry or both, or
both?
Inform
I would
us?
say. It might make you laugh, might weird you out a little bit, but in a good way.
Oh, good. We need more of that.
Yes.
In what way? What way would it weird us out more?
I would say a warm weird, if that's
okay. We'll take
imagine
that.
A warm weird. Yes.
That's the name of my life story. So.
Exactly. Same.
We're good. Can you name a film or two that's included, just to give us a little taste?
Sure. So we've actually got a really cool film called 2 Parts Black by a filmmaker named Cleon Airy from the USA. It's described as an imperfect attempt to depict the 2 worlds that he navigates: the world his family has created for him, and the world that exists beyond his mother's door. And it's a very experimental film that really kind of celebrates just the beauty of, Black bodies and their experiences and their cultures. It's a very, again, kind of a warm weird. And then we have another film that I'm really excited to showcase, which is called Black to Techno by Jen Giro. And it delves into the origins of the genre the techno genre in Detroit, and kind of draws parallels between the machine-like production lines of the city's manufacturing heritage, as well as the roots of Black music. And it's a beautiful kind of sonic visual experience that I think people will really enjoy.
All right. And Martin, what are you most excited about?
I'm just excited to bring people together and to experience this, right? To me, this was always about sort of the local film, film carts culture and bringing that to the community here. And so the fact that we can still do that with the drive-in, I think is what I'm most excited about, is finding a way to do something in person, even when that's very challenging. And that, I think, is probably what I'm the most excited about, is having some in-person element. I've seen all the programs myself, so it won't be a surprise to me, but I'm excited to share that element of surprise with everyone else.
It is IFFY, the Independent Film Festival, Ypsilanti. It begins on Thursday, August 20th with a drive-in, continues Friday and Saturday. We'll put a link to all of that on our website, WEMU.org, along with this interview and the video. And you'll see I have a face for radio, but I'm always open to new ideas. And it's so grateful for you to share this information with us here on 89.1 WEMU.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much. That was great.
And if you want to hear more, you want to continue the conversation for a few more minutes on Zoom?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
We're going video. So what did I miss?
Cheers.
What else do you want to share with us?
Hafsah, is there anything else that sort of sticks out to you, maybe in some of the other programs? I think you saw, I don't know if you saw the Ottawa program, but I believe you saw the other show.
Midwest products. Yeah, no, yeah. And I'm excited for both of those. I think there's some really cool stuff in Midwest products as well. Some really cool sort of suspense films, some speculative genre type fiction, some very, again, sort of weird stuff. I'm very much into weird storytelling and things that make you comfortably uncomfortable.
I like that, comfortably uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah. So I think there's a really good showcase of that within the Midwest products. And then I don't think I saw anything from the Best of Ottawa, but I've seen it in the past from our previous or first installation of IFFY, and I was really impressed by it. Love the selection of animated films that were shown. It kind of really hyped me to be able to program for IFFY this year.
So Ottawa, for those who don't know, is the largest animation festival in North America. It's really like the biggest film event for animators in the world, second to one in France called Annecy. So those two are the largest animation film festivals in the world, and they showcase some of the best films throughout the world for animation. And it's something, as an animator, as a student in Detroit, going to CCS, that we would take field trips to go to Ottawa to watch these films. And there's just a lot of nostalgia and memory for me about how influential the work was there to my career, and being able to bring that locally so you can watch it, because a lot of these works, you can't see them online anywhere, or at least not right now. Eventually they will be released online, but it's you can see them with us first, and then get a taste, and maybe want to one day, once pandemic's over, head on to Ottawa and go see them in person, because it's a real experience. So that's really an amazing program. And that's one of the things we're trying to do with IFFY, is sort of have a hybrid of local and international, right? We're not specializing, even though we're IPSY Independent Film Fest. That's just where we're based, because we see IPSY as this cultural center, but we're really trying to bring that global perspective in and mix that with regional and international. And partner with artists. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are finding that, because they do have to go virtual with a lot of events during this pandemic, that they are widening their audience. So there could be one plus from this. And WEMU, we do really, truly consider ourselves a community connection. And we've had the pleasure of talking to Donald Harrison several times. And I feel like Hafsah kind of told us about herself. Martin, tell us a little bit about you so we can get to know you a little better.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm also an animator and a filmmaker. My background is in animation and digital media. I work for Duo Security, so I'm an in-house creative working in marketing. I got my career started through the film festival scene. So film festivals are very important. I had a film called Frames that played at both Ottawa and the Ann Arbor Film Festival. And just what that did to my career, it really shot it off like a rocket. It was a hugely successful film. It was a Vimeo staff pick and made in about 14 festivals throughout the world. And once that broke, people started calling. I started getting work. I started getting gigs. My name got out there, and that was like a linchpin into my future career. And we need more opportunities like that regionally for people to have a breakout moment. And if you don't have that stage and that audience and that recognition, those opportunities aren't there for you, right? So creating that, right? Michigan isn't necessarily known as a place for cinema, but there are a lot of filmmakers here. They're hidden. You may not see them, but they're everywhere. And as the barrier for entry with the technology and is lowered, it's easier and easier to become a filmmaker, right? So the barrier to get into the space is so much more accessible than it's ever been. But what we don't have is the same sort of recognition and elevation of the quality of work that's coming out. And we need to celebrate that. A, because it's amazing work and should be seen, and B, because it's also helps those filmmakers stepping stones. I want to give those opportunities to other people. And part of the spirit of IFFY is not just opportunities for those work seen, but opportunities for people like Hafsah and Juliet, where we're pulling in other curators and artists into our scene and saying, we're going to give you a platform to share your ideas and voices, right? So we are giving other curators complete autonomy to create their own programs under the moniker of IFFY. And we hope to sort of scale that out where we're partnering with other creative institutions and individuals to build on top of something.
Well, how have both of you been impacted by the pandemic? Can you continue your work?
Yeah, so I also work with Martin over at Duo Security. We recently were acquired by Cisco. We're part of their security business organization. And we are entirely working from home organization currently. So we're all sort of in our home studios, telecommuting and communicating with each other over, WebEx Teams and Slack and stuff like that. So the workaday really hasn't changed, at least from my side of the creative team, too much. I know Martin can speak for the video team in terms of how things have changed for them a bit more.
Yeah, it certainly has changed the work, but we're very fortunate that we work for a tech company that was already set up to be completely remote distributed. It's a global 70,000 person organization with people working all over the globe. So it was, and also develops its WebEx own video conferencing technology. So we were already set up to be completely virtual. It literally had very little hiccups on the business other than obviously the sort of distress of the unknown of the pandemic and what that does to your workday with kids at home. Like everybody's struggling with that. That's no different for us. And as video producers, it changed what we can do, right? So now I can't do these in-person video shoots with larger crews. We need to be more mindful about all those spaces, but we can do a lot with animation. We can do a lot with sort of crowdsourcing and getting people to send us material to assemble stuff. And we've just kind of, made lemonade with what we're dealt. And we're actually able to be quite productive and produce a lot of interesting things of value. It's just a new creative challenge for us to solve. And we're fortunate that we're, part of an in-house team that sort of has one big mission that we can keep fulfilling remotely, where I know a lot of people in the film industry who are reliant on client work and commercial work and freelancers and gig workers. They're really hurt right now. So it is not a great time for the film community and just creatives in general, unless your craft doesn't require that in-person kind of component that filmmaking does.
I think that's a great way to put it. Not a great way, but new creative challenge. I think we're all facing that right now.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and to kind of bounce off of some of that, I think that's why festivals and showcases like IFFY are so important right now, because, they help to provide visibility to filmmakers who are still producing work, and just really gives them a platform to be seen by people who might not know that, this stuff is out there. These filmmakers are out there. They're still prolific. They're still working, and they're doing their best during, really challenging times. So I think hopefully it's kind of a two-way street of both delivering people some escapism, but also helping to support filmmakers who are, kind of struggling now.
You think we're going to see more animated films in the near future because that's your outlet at this time?
Animation is booming right now. So if you are in the animation industry, it is not stopping for you, right? If you've got a computer and an internet connection, you can still animate, or whatever if it's manual animation, which is pretty rare these days, everything's computerized now. But yeah, that is absolutely booming. Just like other industries are booming as a result of the pandemic. You see a lot of disparities where some are hit
Yeah.
very hard and some are rising. Some ships
Right.
ships are sinking. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to all of you for taking the originally planned Independent Film Festival Ypsilanti for last April and figuring out a way to bring it to the community coming up. And thank you for that. We think we need all the creative information entertainment that we can get right now.